way better. Hello, party people.
Heyo. Ow. River.
You are listening or watching Conversations with the Reinhardts. We're the Reinhardts.
That's Reese.
Yeah, and that's Ash.
Thank you.
And we're here, and we're going to have a conversation.
Apparently, while our dogs play with each other, too.
Yeah, we brought them on the show to add some quality content. They're doing their best. They don't speak very good English. They're working on it.
But they are really passionate about what they do talk about in their own language.
Yeah.
Well.
How have you been this week?
Well, I'll be honest. I posted about it on Instagram. Not amazing. I've been
sad to hear.
I mean, kind of PMSing this week. It is what it is.
Fair enough.
And so, I talked about last week, like I'm really spiritual. And so this week I've kind of just lost that. It's been like a while since we've really meditated, or since I meditated at least. And we sat down and did that this morning, which was really good. But within like doing yoga practice this week, it's just been like a little reminder, just these hard things happen, these trials and tribulations happen because they are a lesson. They're an opportunity to learn something about myself and about the world as a whole, and an opportunity to show others compassion and therefore show myself compassion, and then, grow as a human being and become a better human being for that. And, that lesson is really hard for me to remember in the midst of it. So
I think probably hard for everyone. I don't know.
If you're struggling with that, just know that I am also struggling with that. This morning, I was on my way to work and I was taking a right-hand turn on red. And so I was kind of just like slowly easing into it, just being like, oh, let me just check. And someone behind me honked as soon as I stopped. And then I kind of looked in my mirror and they're kind of like flashing their hands. And then I was like, okay, so they're just in a hurry. All right. So I crept forward to look to make sure that no one was coming. And this person honked at me again. It was just...
They were in a rush.
Super aggressive. And I was really upset about it for a while. And, you said basically, they have a whole different life. They have a whole slew of things going on. And I just sat there and I was like, look, if I have to, be responsible for my lateness, my tardiness, then so do you.
Yeah.
Not to be like I was taking my time or anything like that, but it was a red light.
Basically, if they're in a rush because they're late or they're just in a rush, it's kind of their problem. Not really. Is that kind of the...
Right, but then looking at it from someone who's just super removed from the situation, because it's been a whole day, that was at 7:15 this morning a.m.
Pretty
and now
early,
it's
yeah.
8 p.m. 8:15. It's 8:18 according to the clock.
Yeah.
It's super easy to be like, you know what, that person is probably struggling in their own life. That person is dealing with their own, like you said, their own slew of problems. Who am I?
Yeah.
Have I been there? Have I been angry? Have I been frustrated? And then just one little thing after another little thing just sets me off first thing in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to wake up to, like, just stuff that can get you upset. But, yeah, everyone's got their own story, their own... Who knows what's going on,
So, yeah.
So, just to that being you're all right, but you're not great.
I mean,
this week.
I'm doing a lot better. I've talked on the show about how, at least I think I've talked on the show a little bit about how I have anxiety. So, you know, sometimes are better than others.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel okay. This week, it's been pretty hard, but I'm looking forward to the fact that, you know, we're basically more than halfway through Mercury's retrograde. Summer solstice is this Sunday. It's almost Father's Day. Sunday is also Father's Day, I'm pretty sure. And
It is
you
Father's
know,
Day.
It's summer. It's freaking summer. So it's, you know, for me at least, it's my favorite time of the year. Now until about Thanksgiving time is my favorite time of the year. So it's only up.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like I'm breathing hard. I'm like
I don't getting worked up, I guess. I don't know.
holding my breath probably. I'm like,
Je ne sais pas.
Well, anyway, just breathe loudly into the mic. How has your week been? What's been going on?
More of the same, really. Just kind of work, running, climbed Wednesday. That was fun. Supposed to go climb tomorrow and the next day. So
we're gonna climb
sick.
together. It's
Yeah.
my first time.
First time ever going for you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll
I've
see how
been
that goes.
Trying not to think about it.
I think there's no point thinking about it till we're there. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I finished up kind of the first step in my little project for the summer. So next week I should be moving on to the next step. So that's pretty exciting. Just finished that up today too on like a Friday, which felt pretty awesome. Yeah, so pretty good week for me. Honestly, more of the same. Not super exciting or nothing. Oh, I ran 6 miles back to back, which is the furthest I've run on my knee since December probably when I started having issues.
Nice.
So that was kind of exciting too. So pretty good week for me. I didn't have to deal with anyone honking at me or nothing. Today I was in the car on the way back from my run with Garrett and someone honked and I said, "Why are they honking at you?" And he was like, "What makes you think they're honking at me?" And I was like, "Oh, I just assume anytime anyone honks that it's for me." Like,
That's
it's
a good
kind of the
point.
principle that I operate under.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
But as long as they didn't flip you off, it probably wasn't at you.
I didn't really look around because after he said that, I was kind of like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe they're honking at something else." Yeah. So anyway, had a pretty good week. It was all right.
Good.
I'm excited for next week. Yeah, I don't know. And the weekend. Pumped for the weekend. It's going to be a good one. Lots of stuff to do.
Ow!
Yeah.
That was super lame. That sounded so bad.
Yeah.
Let's just never do that again.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
know,
I like tried to howl and I would just.
Yeah, whatever. Live your life. I'm glad you're
That was
excited.
pretty embarrassing. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay, so this week we wanted to talk about tattoos.
Yes.
Why we have them, why we like them.
We both have
Whatever.
a few. How many
Yeah.
do you have? I don't know how many I have.
Count how many you have while I count how many I have
Yeah.
because I have to count them.
Yeah. Sorry, just give us a second.
He has more than me. So I'm just going to kind of... Are you done?
No, I'm not. But
Okay.
you just go and I'll just
So
keep
I have
working on this.
5. I'll just go ahead and describe while he's counting what I have. I think I have 5 anyway. That's like the hard thing is, you know, when you don't have every single tattoo visible at all times, it's easy to forget what you have and what you don't have. Or really, it's, you know what you don't have, but what you have is like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. It is really hard to like just keep them all in your head all the time.
Once you get more than like 2, basically,
Yeah.
it's like you're, I don't know, liable to forget. I have one on my wrist that I've had. This was my first tattoo ever. I've had it since I was 19 years old, and so many people were like, "Oh my gosh, when did you get your wrist tattoo?" I'm like, almost 10 years ago.
That's good though. It looks pretty good.
This is a little.
Yeah.
If you're watching it on
yeah,
YouTube, I'm flashing it to the camera. I don't know,
you
like
probably can't really see it super well, but if you
No.
can, you know. It looks pretty solid, I think, for a 10-year-old tattoo that's like somewhere that sees the light of day pretty normally, like consistently.
They did. So the original artist, I haven't had it touched up one time. The original
you got
artist.
It when you were 19, you said?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to make sure. I was in the middle of counting, so I want to make sure I caught everything you said.
Yeah, I got it when I was 19, and the original artist put in white ink because I asked them to, and then
Did it turn yellow?
No.
Oh, well,
thankfully.
That's good. Yeah.
They're like an artist, so they did like graphite and charcoal drawings.
They're what you call an artist. I don't know if you guys were tracking on what a tattoo artist is, but
I meant like an artist outside of tattooing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did charcoal and graphite drawings.
Okay, I'm sorry then. I
like
misunderstood.
Legitimately, they would sell their drawings. They would frame them and
They were just like a normal artist, use like normal stuff. They didn't tattoo people. They weren't a tattoo artist.
They were both.
Oh, okay. So they did both things.
I mean, I got a tattoo from them, so yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most tattooers also like draw traditionally or paint or whatever. That's like how they.
I just like they did like realism. So they would do like this bird. If you saw it on the YouTube, is like real. Like I showed them an image and they did photorealism, in grayscale for me. And they do the same thing. It was this lady and her husband, and both of them were just like, charcoal artists basically.
Yeah, artist.
And they would do charcoal drawings, and then they would frame
realism?
them. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
I mean, with the shading and everything, that's kind of what I know that you can do more with charcoal than just pictures of basically real things or like super realistic drawings, but like the shading and everything. I know that
I'd say it's like a style, it's a genre.
Yeah.
Most people do like a particular style, and I would just say that like photorealism is a style.
It's pretty real.
Yeah.
Realism. I mean, I don't think that my arm looks identical to a picture, but I also have it in just black ink.
Yeah, black ink, and it's 10 years old. So, it's not surprising it's not identical to a picture.
You should have seen the little talons when they first got done.
Yeah.
Like, they seem really thin now. I'm going to show him them. You see how, like, they look really thin?
Oh, yeah, but you can see, like, the highlights and stuff. And you can
well,
see
you can see the highlights and everything, but just like even still like 10 years later,
you can see the detail.
It doesn't necessarily look super fuzzy.
Yeah. No, I think how detailed it is. I think it looks good for 10 years old. Yeah.
And I will say it was really cool because the artist was like, "Oh, you want to be small?" Because I did. I was like, "Oh, I just want something dainty on my wrist." She's like, "Okay, well, we're not going to do it on your actual wrist because that wrinkles too much. It's going to be gross. And we're going to do it a little bit bigger than you want it."
Good of you to listen to her, because
yeah,
some people don't do that,
That's the thing about me is I give little to no thought to a tattoo. Tattoos are the thing I think about the least. I just go and I get them. I'm just like, heck yeah, let's do it. I trust you. And then they do it. And I'm like, sick. And that relates to almost nothing else in my life.
Yeah, what a weird thing to just be like willy-nilly about, out of all the, considering how you live the rest of your life with all the planning and all that, that's funny to me.
Yeah, I'm a classic Virgo where I'm just like, I need everything to be super planned out, and if things change, like if our plans change, I get super anxious about it. I'm like, oh, but what?
But tattoos.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Hey, live your life,
So basically, I was roommates with someone my freshman year of college, and they said...
so I was going to ask, that was your first tattoo, so what was your second tattoo?
Well, let me tell you about this first tattoo first, and then I'll move on.
There's more? Okay. I didn't know there was more to the first tattoo.
My roommate, when I was a freshman in college, in the dorms, she had just gotten... a piercing on her
what a time to get a tattoo. I love it. Rock and roll.
On her hood.
What, like you mean her vagina?
No, not inside. On the outside.
Well, yeah, it goes
Her clitoral
yeah,
hood.
it goes, yeah.
Okay, it doesn't go through.
Well, it definitely does go through. It's a piercing. What do you mean it doesn't go through?
Vagina's inside.
I'm tracking on that. It goes through the top of the vagina. I'm tracking on where they are.
It's called a clitoris.
Yeah, I just
Clitoral hood. I'm not a vagina.
I'm tracking on where it goes though.
It's not a vagina though.
You know, sometimes that causes like permanent damage to the nerves when people fuck it up.
Right. So it's not the actual clitoris. Yeah. It's the hood that covers it. It's that flap of skin.
I said when people fuck it up. I think that's the problem, is sometimes people fuck it up and go through the actual clitoris.
All right.
Yeah. Just fun fact for you.
Cool. I would never get that because I'm too much of a chicken.
Yeah.
But my roommate, same age as me at the time, about 18 or 19, she decided she was going to get one. You know, she was on her own for the first time. Her parents were military. So she was like, she graduated. So
she just rated the clit tattoo.
No. I'm just saying, like, she definitely, like,
she just had
probably
that freedom.
And she was like, oh, I'm finally free. You know, was able to do whatever she wanted. And, you know, she was super responsible, like, compared to me. She was super responsible. But she definitely was like, I'm going to do what I want to. Who's going to tell me no?
Yeah,
which I respect, mad respect to her. And also the bravery. But she got that piercing. And then she was talking to me one day. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've always wanted like a bird tattoo. And she was like, the lady who did my piercing does tattoos. She does really good work. Let's go see her. And I was like, yeah. So we went. And I got the tattoo the next day.
Yeah.
I had not thought about it. I literally was just like, oh, I'll just look at a bird tattoo. I looked at it. I was like this is pretty good. Showed her the picture. It was like a picture of a real bird. She goes, oh, perfect, cool. Sent her the picture. She found it on her computer or something like that. And I even asked her like then and there. I was like, are we doing this today? She goes, oh, no. You can come back tomorrow. And I said, sounds good. Sounds good.
Still pretty quick.
I know. Quickest tattoo turnaround other than just like a homemade tattoo or whatever.
I have to book my tattoo artist like months in advance. It's such a hassle.
And so she did some research and she was like, so I did some research on this bird. This is the next day during the tattoo session before we even started. She's like, this is a mountain bluebird. And I was like,
didn't you tell her that? Oh,
I just found the picture.
Oh, you just said I want one that looks. You didn't even have.
No,
you didn't even know what type of bird it was.
I just looked up birds on Google until I found something. I was at the tattoo shop.
Oh yeah! Wow. Okay, fair enough.
And so I was like, "Here you go," and she was like, "It's a mountain bluebird," and I was like, "Oh wow,
like, cool."
And I thought about it, and I was like, "Yo, that's like." A bird native to the Northwest, which is where I was born and grew up. I was living in Louisiana at the time. And I was like feeling super homesick. So it felt like the universe and I were just coming together on this tattoo that I had thought zero about.
Like literally zero, apparently. I didn't realize that's what you meant, dude. I want one like this. Oh. You know what type that is?
No.
Oh, that's hysterical.
So.
Real quick. Your mic thing, you were right. You are louder than I am. Just FYI, you can lower it.
Knew it.
Well, sometimes you're quiet like me, and then sometimes you're not.
Sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, you can. Sorry to cut you off. I know that there's a lot more to talk about, and I know that it's gonna.
I'll lower my mic.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that better, ears?
Yeah.
All right.
For everyone listening and watching, we had this conversation before, and I was like, you got to adjust your mic because it's going to be too quiet. And then she listened, and I was wrong.
Well, and the reason why I was like at all even a little bit argumentative is because I am...
talk louder than me.
Which is funny because I think that...
It's also true, you know.
It is true. Yeah. And I'm not trying to say anything negative about that. I just think it's funny because... I'm usually not the louder person in the conversation.
Between us?
No. Between other people.
Oh, that's fair, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I only ever see you around a few people, but yeah, fair enough.
I love you, and I love that, you know, you are as thoughtful and, you know, purposeful with your words as you are.
Sometimes.
I just think it's funny because when I talk to other people, especially if it's recorded, I'm usually the quiet one. And then people are like, oh my God, I'm so loud. And I'm like, I am the quietest.
I feel like I'm
that was
generally
pretty accurate.
quiet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, I am the loud one.
Yeah. Anyway, all that to say, I totally interrupted your story.
It's fine. That story was basically over. So too long, didn't listen. You know, I went to a tattoo shop because my college dorm roommate said that it would be a time. I got a tattoo the next day, and the tattoo artist educated me in what the tattoo I was getting was all about. And I love it.
Literally didn't think about it.
I love it. I love that tattoo. So that was my first ever tattoo.
I love that spirit of the tattoo, of just being like, yeah, I got it, and I had no idea what it was about or nothing.
Yeah. That. People ask me, like, what's that mean? And, like, I eventually, like, oh, it's my home bird. Because it's, like, the state bird of Idaho, which is where I was born.
I just make stuff up when people ask me, what's that mean?
I'm like,
do any of your other ones have any great grand meaning?
I mean, one does, but it's mostly just because I wanted it. I liked it. I wanted it.
Which one?
My thigh tat.
The thigh tat, which is...
It's a Chemex with a magnolia blossom in it.
Yeah.
Because for 10 years, well, it was more like 8 or 9 years of my adult life, I lived in Louisiana and worked as a barista. You know, I worked as just like a regular barista, shift lead, a manager, and then I also ran 2 different coffee shops at the same time. It was the same brand, but 2 different locations. Did like all of the day-to-day operations, did marketing, and then, you know, have since managed and then also worked as a barista since then. And, you know,
lots of coffee work.
I love coffee.
Yeah.
So a Chemex is a, you know, manual brewing method. It's a pour over.
Well, some people might not know. You can explain it.
A Chemex was created by a scientist. I am blanking on their name.
Dr. Chemex, obviously.
No, that's not their name. But Chemex is like chemistry, basically. I don't know. It's not really chemistry, but it's like thinking about coffee and the way that it works out. It is chemistry, you know, to a certain extent. And the way that you extract the coffee, the temperature of the water, the amount. Anyway, so the Chemex was created.
Just describe what a Chemex is and what it looks like.
So a Chemex is a bell-shaped vessel.
A bell-shaped vessel. That's
not what it is. It's an hourglass-shaped vessel.
Hourglass?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. It's got like a wide mouth at the top, and then it narrows at the center, and then it widens out again.
And so basically the way that it's designed is you can really try your best to mess it up and not make a good cup of coffee. And as long as you keep it to, you know, use a filter and fill the water to the bubble on the side of the Chemex, you'll make a pretty good cup of coffee. Which, if you at all are a TV trivia person, you will remember the Friends episode, season 1, when Rachel went to make coffee for the first time for her friends, and Chandler and Joey poured it out. Maybe it was Ross and Chandler, but
I
Chandler
think
was
everyone did. She just couldn't make coffee.
Yeah, she was really bad. She was just about to get the coffee shop job at the cafe as a waitress.
I think it's like a running joke, right? They make it more than once.
Yeah, but that's the first time. So that's an actual Chemex in that shot. And she makes a terrible cup of coffee and everyone pours it out. And so the reason why the Chemex exists, the reason why it's like done the way it is because it makes a very seamless, easy cup of coffee. that you could really try to mess up and it should taste good regardless. And the claim to fame for the Chemex is you make it, you let it sit, and if you have to reheat the Chemex that you made, so the coffee you made in the Chemex, it should taste the same as when it was originally made. If you use the double bonded filter and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. So it should make a really consistent cup of coffee, even if you kind of mess it up a little bit, and it should taste the same if you reheat it. And if you are a fan of manual brewing, you may already understand and know that Chemex creates a lot of different accessories. So they have like a little stand that goes on a burner, like an electric burner for your stove to reheat it. And then they also have little lids.
I did not know that.
I love coffee.
So that's the reason behind the Chemex, and all the other ones are just,
Well,
I want a bird like this.
I think the reason for the Chemex was just to create another type of pour over, but
I meant
like the claim
tattoos.
to fame.
I meant
Oh,
the reason for the
yeah.
Chemex tattoo, because we're talking
Chemex
about
is my
tattoos.
favorite kind of pour over.
Yeah.
Because it is so consistent. I like to go to coffee shops, and if they have a Chemex on,
You always get one.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny because we have one, but you go get pour over Chemex made by someone else is the big deal.
it's different beans, you know?
Yeah.
It's their own beans, and it's their method. And like, I don't take the time at this point in my life to weigh out the beans and water anymore. I just kind of make what I want to make. So I grind the grinds. I don't like time the pour. And it still creates a good cup of coffee. Like, no one's complaining, you know?
Hazel.
It's just that when you get it from a coffee shop, it's different. It is different.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of that is having someone else make it.
Yeah. It always tastes better when someone else makes it.
Yeah.
So
that's
anyway.
That's the first tattoo and the only tattoo with a reason. Those are the
Yeah. And then
stories
the
behind them.
Chemex has on my thigh, which is on my left thigh. It
And that's your
has
favorite,
a magnolia
right?
blossom, not tree, because I got it for the time that I was in the South. Because when I was in the South, I worked in coffee exclusively.
And that's where the magnolia blossom comes from, I'm assuming?
Yes.
I don't know.
Magnolia trees are native to the South. So.
Huh.
Mhm.
So that's your favorite one, too? The thigh tattoo?
I don't know if it's my favorite, but
It's the
it
only one
definitely
with-
it has meaning.
Yeah, it's the only one with
It's the one with meaning. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, you talk about yours. Talk about your first one, the ones with meaning. Let's go. Let's hear them.
None of mine really have any meaning at all, but I
But
can
you have
just,
a reason why you got them.
Well, people always ask. If you have a tattoo, you probably know this, or if you know people with tattoos, people always are like, "Oh, what's the meaning behind that?
What does that mean?
Oh, why'd you get that?" That's a bit. People just, especially people without tattoos, they're like, "Just why? And I think that's why they
Noob.
ask.
That's why.
They want to understand.
Screw you. That's why. Because
I
I wanted it.
Because I like tattoos is really why. Like, but I think to ask that or to answer that, they're like, "Oh, what's the meaning behind that?" And I think also a lot of people do have like a lot of thoughtful meanings behind their tattoos, like yours with the South. There, people will get like their kids' names, or they'll get like a dog portrait or whatever.
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, and that's, none of mine have any grand meaning, but I've gotten good at like just kind of BSing, making my way through.
Making my way downtown.
Yeah. So the first tattoo I ever got doesn't have any meaning, but it was a cool story, I guess.
Let's hear it.
It's a stick and poke, and it was in my big toe. So it was I have 3 little dots and like an upside down triangle on both of my big toes.
And your best friend who gave them to you.
No, hang on.
Oh, just playing.
Interrupter. They one friend gave me one toe, a stick and poke, and one friend gave me another toe, stick and poke. The second one,
that's why they're different.
correct. And the second one was been my best friend for I don't even know how long, like over 10 years probably.
And that's the person who also has the toe tattoo.
Yeah. So and I also gave him toe tattoos that match mine.
And then
so that was my very first tattoo. He also gave me a stick and poke on my ankle of a little sailboat, which I got in the same night, I think.
Yeah.
And that, it doesn't really have any meaning, but I was just getting into the Navy. It was like maybe my first time home or my second time home. And these were my first tattoos, and I had wanted tattoos since I was like 16, and I was like 20 at that point. And the sailboat was kind of like, oh, Navy boats, meh. And also I just like it. It's just like a very simple, like what a 2-year-old would draw, a line drawing of a sailboat, and it's real small, and it's a stick and poke on the side of my ankle. Yeah, other than that, I guess if I had to give some sort of meaning for some of them, I have, it's probably, no one can probably make that out. It gets a lot of sun. It's like an old school record player. I forget kind of what they're called. Son or something. The name escapes me, but it's an old school record player with like the big horn, and it's got a rose. And that was kind of for music. I've drummed for a long time. I've drummed since I was pretty young. My grandma played the piano. And I remember like for a birthday or something, she gave me this card that was like, just never stop, basically, playing music. And I don't know. That was like a big thing that I remember about her pushing, was just like, just keep doing. She used to talk about my uncle, like, oh, he used to drum and he like still drums like on his steering wheel and stuff. And like, she's like, it'll never leave you. You'll have it forever, basically.
She gave us this tapestry behind us. Well, she didn't give it to us, but
she had already passed away. We inherited it.
We got it.
That's one.
It was hers.
I have the owl and a moth on the kind of the inside of my arm. One's in like my elbow ditch. Mm-hmm. The moth has a skull and the owl has a
hourglass.
Yeah, you had just said that word and I couldn't remember it.
Like
as
with
an
sand.
Hourglass. Yeah.
And then there's the globe.
Yeah. Well, and these are
sorry.
These are from like Memento Mori, which is just like remember you're gonna die. It's like an old Latin phrase or Roman phrase or something like that. It means like, oh, remember you'll die. And I believe the story is Roman generals, when they returned from battle victorious, so that they wouldn't get a large ego, they would have someone follow them when they rode in on their chariot to like get praised, basically, and to like celebrate their victory. There'd be someone behind them like whispering like memento mori, and it just means remember you are gonna die. And it's just so that's kind of what that, everyone dies. It's something that's important to
Stay
keep
humble.
in mind.
Yeah. Hey, ladies.
This is it's not a mace. It's I forget the name of it, Morning Star. So it's like a handle with a chain with like a mace on the end. It was supposed to be Sauron's hand from Lord of the Rings holding his like mace thing from the movies.
Yeah,
and my tattoo artist was like, yeah, I could do that for sure. And then he was like, so actually the placement of that, because I already had these other tattoos, so it had to fit. And he's like, the placement's kind of small. And he's like, I don't think I'll be able to make it work. And then I just showed up and he had drawn this. And I was like, whatever, that's sick. He did this one. He's done like a few of the pieces. And he always does really good work.
Most of the tattoos that Reese has paid for have come from him. The other tattoos have been from single artists. I don't think you've had repeats from any artist except for him.
Yeah, he is the only person I've been back to and I'll like go out of my way to schedule with. I don't think most of my tattoos that I've paid for are from him, but he's done a few of them.
I just meant like no other person on your like that you've paid for.
Yeah, he's the only person I've ever gone back to. Mm-hmm. And he's his name's Nate Leslie and he works in Seattle and at Super Genius Tattoo, and he's an amazing artist. He's done amazing work on a lot of people. He's in the Mopop, like the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle.
He's really good. So he's done
he's like an amazing artist.
He's done cover-ups on black work. So
yeah, so he's the only guy that I will actually like return to so far that I've met.
Yeah.
That I've like gone out of my way to like see and get a tattoo from.
He is, super slow, super talented.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Well,
takes
I
a
have
long time to do really good work.
I think that's like the real right there, because I have most of my tattoos were really fast.
Yeah, no, mine are long, arduous projects.
And they look like it. They're like works of art.
Yeah, so I've got those. Yeah. Those are kind of the forearm. This was the first tattoo I ever actually paid for. I got in Okinawa, which I
the one on the inside of your arm.
Yeah, which is just, it's like an anatomical heart, but kind of like neo-trad style, I guess.
And it's got this like bright turquoisey mint.
Yeah, it's like a
blue.
very vibrant coloring. So I got that in Okinawa. God, son of a basket weaver. First one I ever paid for. This is just a globe for like, I had traveled a fair amount by the time I got it. Kind of to remind myself of, it's a big world out there. We're just living a small part of it, I guess.
That's nice.
This is like a neo-trad gypsy head girl. I don't know. With like a skull head thing, and the jaws like the necklace. And I kind of got that because, one, it's just like a cool traditional subject.
You wanted to have a girl on your arm.
And yeah, it's the whole joke is like, so I always have a girl on my side. Makes me feel better that you hit yours, because I hit mine like 3 times.
Oops.
And then I also have this, you can't see it probably. It's a needle. It's like an old school hypodermic needle by that same guy, Nate Leslie. And it's got like a red fluid in it, kind of also squirting out. I forget about this one a lot because I never see it.
But that's like the most recent one.
Yeah, it's also like one of my favorites. I really like it. I just never.
It looks really good. It's crisp.
I just never see it. And then I've got a few more like on my legs, on my abdomen and stuff, but we don't have to do a long explanation of all of them, I guess.
Well, I'll go ahead and talk about mine some more, I guess. Just to kind of say what else I've got, and then you can kind of just like quickly summarize what you've got.
I feel like I explained like all of mine, and I kind of cut you short now, I guess.
No, you just said your arm. So those are the two big ones.
Can I ask you this real quick?
Yeah.
How do you go about picking your artist? Because we kind of talked about, I've got one guy that I've gone to a few times, and then I've got just other people I go to once.
Pick an artist.
You literally don't even nothing. No. You literally put like 0 thought into them. I love it, dude. That's such a good way to get a tattoo, I think. Those are my favorites.
I feel like this is a pretty good idea, and then I go and do it.
This is a pretty good idea. I thought it up 2 minutes ago, and I think it's going to be kick-ass.
If I think about it longer than that, it doesn't seem like such a good idea. So I got my Chemex tattoo because a friend of mine at the time was like, I want to get a tattoo, and I was like, I want to get a tattoo, and then literally she pulled up to the tattoo studio and was like, let's go do this. And I was like, heck yes.
I like your Chemex one. I love thigh tattoos.
Me too. I think it's really cute during the summer.
It's a good look, dude, with shorts. All right.
So how do you pick yours?
How do I pick my artist?
Yeah.
Well, the way I found this dude the only guy I've ever gone back to, I'll just talk about him because the other ones are they're like flash tattoos, or I was at a convention and I just like went to someone that did the style I wanted that was available. The way I found this guy that I go back to was I went to the Seattle tattoo convention and they had listed all their artists. And I literally looked through every single artist portfolio.
Yeah.
And I said, that's the one I want. I said,
old Leslie. That's him.
Well, his name's Nate. His last name is Leslie, I think.
Old Leslie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway, I literally looked through, I don't know how many artists were there, but probably over 100, like 150.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know, but I'm sure it was a lot of stuff to look through because it took me a long time.
For sure.
And I found like a top 5 or like a top 3 of like, that's the style I like. That's kind of like most what I want or whatever. And then I just kept kind of narrowing it down, and I like emailed everyone, I think. And then I got a hold of Leslie or Nate. See, now you got me messed up.
You military guy, you call everyone by their last name.
No, only the people I know from the military.
Well, whatever. People in real life call people by their last name.
Anyway, I had emailed or messaged like the top 5 or 3 that I had picked out, and then he messaged me back, I think the soonest maybe, and he was just available, and he was also local to the area that I lived in. He was up in Seattle, I was in Bremerton. So yeah, it all kind of came together, and then he did this one on the front of my forearm. It was the first one I ever got from him, and it was amazing. It still looks amazing. It's probably hard to see like on the camera right now. Because I get a lot of sun, especially my forearms. I'm not the best about like sunscreen and moisturizing. Like my aftercare of tattoos is like not the greatest. But it still looks amazing. And when he first did it, I was like blown away. I was like, holy fucking Christ. I was like, this is amazing. This is like the best artwork I've ever seen, basically, like tattoo wise.
It looks really good still.
Yeah, it's just it's like harder to see with the arm hair.
If you shaved, shaved your arm, it would look like
shaved poppin'. And threw some lotion on, it would look amazing.
It looked poppin'. For sure.
So anyway, that's how I found him, and he's like the only guy I've ever gone back to. I did look up tattoo artists in Portland just to kind of like, I don't know, look into it because we live in Oregon now.
Yeah.
And the way I heard about that was through, there's this thing called Reform Oregon Tattooing. In Oregon, you have to go to tattoo school to be a tattoo artist. It's not like that in a lot of places. A lot of places you just do an apprenticeship. There's an organization that formed that's trying to reform the fact that you have to go to tattoo school here because they don't like it.
Well, I think that the main negative is, you learn about tattoos themselves, but like you don't learn like about the art of a tattoo or the best methods to like give one. Mean, I think it's more of like you learn how to not.
I'm not gonna speak on it because I am not a tattoo artist, nor have I been to tattoo school.
I was just saying, like, I think that Oregon has you do a tattoo school because they're concerned about the
it's like a healthy, safe
medical reasons of it. It's not necessarily like, oh yeah, this is like the art of a tattoo. Like this is how you give one.
Well, like in other states, you have to get like certifications for stuff for like bloodborne pathogens and all that.
It's kind of like becoming a nail tech and like going to school to do nails.
Here
it's
it
like,
is, yeah. In other places though, tattooing is not like that.
But that's what I'm saying is like going to get a tattoo, like a licensed tattoo, or like going to tattoo school is like doing like a nail tech degree.
That seems like a fair comparison.
Because it is like, it is a part of your body and it's still like a medical, like they're cutting into you or they're like, you know, whatever.
Surgical procedure.
But it's like, you can still do someone's nails and you can still give a tattoo without going to school for it. You know, it's just like proper like sanitizing and stuff like that. And I know it's completely different, but
again, this is just in Oregon. This is not a thing other places. That's why these people were upset.
Hang on. I know. I was just relating it to. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
I was just relating it.
Gotcha.
It's fine.
Well, it's just normally that's not how it goes. And these people, this is how I found how I found like the good tattoo artists that I think are good in Portland was they were in this group that like formed as a like that's trying to abolish their tattoo school system because they like really care about the tradition of tattooing. And they, like some lady did a podcast and then mentioned another lady in it that's like the owner of a shop. So her shop's really good. She knows other shops or she's worked at other shops. Their shops are really good. That's kind of how I found people here. I've never been to anyone here though. I've just looked at their art. I would say you were making a fair comparison. It's like a nail tech thing or whatever. And I think that's, like you're saying, it's like a surgical thing. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just
going to relate it to like food service. Like in Oregon, you have to take like a certification, which takes you 15 minutes to do. But it's like, I could make someone so much sicker with the amount of knowledge that is not required to know. For serving food than someone who does tattoos, because it's just like, obviously like use a sterile, like brand new or sterile needle, use like fresh ink, use a sterile work environment. For like a nail tech, it's like use a fresh nail file, like use an insert or clean the tub that you're putting like someone's feet in so that you don't like contaminate it,
Give them some gross foot fungus or something.
You've got to like contain the situation. But it's like, I've worked as a manager in food establishments where people didn't realize that if you cut yourself, you're supposed to throw all the veg away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Blood-borne pathogens in
Yeah.
your system. So, it's really important. But at the same time, it's like, people who take the exam to be able to serve food, they don't realize that.
Kind of to even extend even more on that and the tattoo comparison, that's why these people don't like tattoo schools, is because they teach, like you're saying, like sanitation and stuff. But it's just compared to like an old school 2-year apprenticeship where you get like hazed and you get taught like this is where placement is and this is like how design works and this is you have to like copy other people's tattoos and stuff. I don't think that you
necessarily get hazed, do you?
Oh no,
like you 100%. Have to do like the grunt work, but it's not like an actual hazing.
No,
you
get
like
hazed.
Embarrassed and like
no, that's exactly
tortured.
what happens. You show up late and they'll write late in stencil, like the stencil material that you can't wash off. They'll write that on your forehead if you show up late, stuff like that. Yeah. No, 100%. I think I don't say hazing in like a hardcore, like illegal type of way. I just mean it in like a fun, like you got to earn your stripes, man. We all did it. You have to do it. 100% like
I
old
feel
school
like
apprenticeships.
Being
like
a good employee as an apprentice is like different than being hazed.
Well, I mean, people take like shots of that stuff and like it's definitely.
I'm just saying, like, I just think of like, frat or sorority hazing where like you had to like do like unmentionable things to be able to get a part of.
Yeah, I think it's like that to a lesser degree, probably.
Or like what you had to do in the military.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would compare it to that, and I would. That's why I would call it hazing.
Okay.
Because like the whole thing is like, we all did it.
You were
have
like,
to do it
it's
to join the
fun,
club.
and I'm sitting here. I'm like, I don't know. Some guy from your platoon got like rhabdo, so like, I don't think that's fun.
He wasn't at our. He was like at a. Or no, sorry, he wasn't our.
He wasn't in our platoon. He just got rhabdo doing the exact same thing as us, which was hazing.
There was a guy at school that got not rhabdo. He got something else. But I'm not saying it's fun. Like, I don't think being a tattoo.
You literally just said, like, it's in a fun way.
Well, about the.
Yeah, either it's fun or it's not fun. Either it's hazing or it's not hazing. Hazing's not fun.
Well, it's fun for the people doing it.
Well, that's psychotic.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think it is fun. I think they're just trying to teach a lesson, like in most cases. But it's just kind of like, it's the way that they were I think hazing's wrong.
Well, and that's fair. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I definitely think it's something that happens in an old school type apprenticeship. And I also think you get taught a lot of things in a full, like the tattoo school here is like 6 months, and an apprenticeship can last like 2 years or longer. You're like, you can't like get licensed until like the people you work with are like, yeah, you deserve it. You know what I'm saying? It's like very much like an old boys type of club situation, I think. And here it's not.
I'm not arguing with you. I think that it, like doing nail tech.
Well, no, and that's
stuff.
That's like why those people are upset, is because like you get taught the sanitation stuff, but you don't have to like go through all the same trials and tribulations and all that. And I think that's why they're like, this isn't what it's like, You
can go in to do like hair and makeup and nails. Yeah. And learn like the proper way to sanitize, but that doesn't mean that you're going to do that, for one. And for two, that doesn't mean that you actually know about like hair, skin, or nails.
It doesn't make you like a high quality nail person.
It's
just
like,
doing that,
Yeah, like
it's like not enough.
For instance, I haven't done any kind of classes by any means, but I have done my own acrylic nails, and it's hard. It's like hella hard, and I've learned so much just by doing it myself, to where like I would be afraid of messing someone else's nails up. And like, I think that's healthy, but it's like at the same time, like, I don't know if I went to school to learn how to do nails, like would I feel differently before having this experience? Like maybe. I think that doing it on myself and realizing how it feels, and like realizing, cause I'm experiencing grow out, and like as like a first timer who's like been doing my nails for a little bit, I filed them too thin. I'll go ahead and I'll throw one of our best friends under the bus. He has some you know, he has some pretty good talent with tattooing. You know, he has his own tattoo gun.
I'm assuming you're talking about the same one that gave me the toe tattoos and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
you know, I really appreciate him. I love him, and he's a great person. I think that his tattoo quality is like really good, considering that he
never went to school.
He never went to school. He literally has just learned by doing. I think it's amazing. Whenever I see him, I'm like, yo, let's tattoo something on this body. And it's exciting, you know? And it's fun, and it's a story. He is super heavy-handed. I will say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the negative.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I like hunted a dude down, you know, like a return artist that I've paid a bunch of money to get like certain tattoos.
Yeah.
And they're great and they turn out awesome and they're like pieces of art. And I've also gotten these like homemade tattoos. And the homemade ones are like some of my favorites, I think.
Oh, 100%.
What do you think?
I was just talking about the pain level of it.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it hurts. You got to want it.
kind of. Well, and I'm relating it to like the whole nail art thing. Is like I've never been taught how to do anything, but now that I've done it on myself,
gotcha. You're bringing it back.
I wouldn't want to do it on someone else because I know that like I could really fuck up their nails.
Yeah, you could like
because I don't know, like no one's taught me like this is the proper way to do it more than just like watching a video. And if that's all school is just like watching a video, like I've got a nail techs who have like, you know, licensing to do nails, and they've like totally burned me, totally made me bleed, totally messed me up. That doesn't mean they're gonna do a great job.
It's like getting a bad haircut too.
Yeah, I've had mostly good experience, but it's like that's it though. It's like it's on experience, just like our good friend, great tattoo artist as far as like art goes, as far as like technique goes, but like the technique of I guess not completely technique, but
definitely
like,
not technique.
He really will hurt you.
Well,
you know, and he doesn't realize it. He doesn't realize that
he definitely realizes.
Oh, does he?
He's done his own tattoos, and he's done like a bunch for a bunch of people. Yeah,
he's done his own tattoos.
Yeah, he did a stick and poke that's like this, like it's like bigger than my thigh tattoo, and it's all stick.
But
and
has he
poke.
done like with his gun?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Wouldn't you?
I don't know. That's some pain tolerance if he's doing it the same kind of way.
Well, and really
I feel bad now.
The whole point is to like bring it back to
licensing.
Yeah, like the people here that go to tattoo schools, some of the old school tattoo artists or whatever don't appreciate it and don't like it or whatever.
Well, and they have, and I'll go ahead and say this for me and our friend, is like those people who don't have licensing, who have been doing it forever, like they have way more experience, way more know-how, way more expertise than we do. And not just in tattoos, but in just anything. I'm talking about like people who do like anything.
We've also spoken way out of our depth about like what tattooers think and what people that do tattoos that aren't trained
that's why I keep on relating it back to like, oh yeah, nails.
Yeah.
Because I've done my nails a total of like 6 or 7 times.
Well, and really, I guess I started with how I found artists was I went to the people that don't like tattoo schools, and then I went to the people they know on Instagram or whatever, and that's how I found like good tattoo artists in Portland.
Sure.
Basically, you hunt them down. I feel like I hunted down Nate. I've hunted down the people here. I'm like, oh, this is, you got to know like what you want, how you want it, stuff like that to get like
that's
a.
Interesting. Well,
I mean, that's just mine. You're like, I don't do any research. I don't even think about that tattoo until I show up, and then I just ask.
I feel bad about what I said about our friend now.
Well, take it back, I guess. I don't know.
No, his tattoos are super painful. I thought that the tattoo on my thigh was going to be the most painful one that I've ever gotten. He's given me one on my hip and one on my ankle.
I guess let's touch on that. Most painful tattoo you've ever had.
My ankle.
The one that him. He did. Most painful tattoo ever had in your life?
100%.
Out of all 5? Is that what you said, 5, right?
Yes. Oh my God, it was so painful. Really? I had to start deep breathing and meditating because it was just so painful.
In his defense, it is right on your bone. So like,
yeah. I will also say, like, I got one on, like, the fatty, fleshy part of my side. That one also hurt really bad. I talked through my thigh tattoo, which I thought was really painful. I was gritting my teeth, like, leaning back in the chair, and the tattoo artist...
Putting on a show, being a tough guy.
The tattoo artist said, you can't sleep in here. Yeah. And I said...
Meanwhile, you're, like, trying to hold back tears.
I was so embarrassed though. I was
so tired. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. I was like holding back tears, basically like, okay, well, let's learn about your life because I need to focus on something right now.
Get my mind off this.
Yeah, so I
What's
just
your
started
longest
asking
tattoo?
him.
Kind of to touch on the pain thing.
My wrist.
That was the longest?
It took about an hour and a half.
That took longer than your thigh tat?
Yeah.
For reference, her thigh tat's probably like at least twice, if not 3 times the size of her wrist.
But it's less detail.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
He did like a little bit of whip shading, but
I like the thigh tat.
yeah, thank you.
I mean, I like the wrist tattoo.
I have one. Well. So the other professional tattoo I have is on the back of my calf, and it's like a floral stem tattoo kind of situation.
Kat Wong, right? That was her name?
Yeah. She's out of like Kansas or something like that. She was
yeah,
at the Portland Tattoo Convention a couple years ago.
I like her stuff. She does like cool.
Yeah, her stuff is colorful, work. But yeah. She printed in black and white for this one, and that's the flash that I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, this one. Yeah. She goes, I meant this to be red, and I said,
either or, you know, black and white. Color.
Don't want color, so.
Well, and it turned out great too, and
yeah,
I think
love
that's
it.
a testament to the design. Is like, oh, it holds up even without like the color part of it.
Yeah. What was the most painful for you, babe?
Oh, easily my toes, without a doubt.
Yeah, I was asleep for that, but he said that he was biting on a pillow to survive.
Well, if anyone, I don't know, maybe someone out there has gotten their toes tattooed, same thing as like what she was saying about her ankle. It's like there's nothing there. It is straight up bone.
Yeah.
And like my toe tattoos, same friend did them. Which, not to say anything about him other than like he also did these, but some of them
he's a little heavy-handed.
Well, and I would agree. I think he's probably a little heavy-handed.
I don't think he does it like purposefully.
But some of them like wrap around the side of my toes. It's like not just the top. Like my middle one, it like kind of goes on the side. And oh my god, dude, I've never felt pain like that in my life. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. Yeah, so I've gotten a lot of tattoos, and I've sat through some really freaking long ones too, like some 8-hour crap, you know. And I think after like 4 or 5 hours, like it starts to hurt different. It is not like anyone can go in for a 30-minute tattoo, you know. But like as you increase the time, for me at least, I hit a point where like my body is just like basically shutting down because it's like starts to
go into shock.
Yeah, like a little bit go into shock. Like I'll start to get like the chills, start to get like just that kind of gaunt, like pale, like I just don't feel good, man. So the longest tattoos I've gotten have probably been the worst. And this forearm one was like, I think probably the longest at like 7-8 hours with like a couple of breaks, I think. Literally took all day. Like the other people in the booth, because it was at a tattoo convention, the other people from the shop are like, what's up, man? You gonna finish that thing today? Like giving Nate crap. So it was a painful one. It hurt for sure. But my toes, they were short tattoos. They're just on my toes. And oh my God, dude, they hurt the whole time, like at a 10. Like holding onto a pillow, just biting it, just get through it. And I also think that each tattoo I get seems to hurt more. And I don't know why. I would think I'd get more used to it. But it's like the first time it's like new and exciting. And then you just like start to just know and expect maybe. I don't know what it is. But like I got my thigh tattoo after like a bunch of other work. And my thigh tattoo really hurt me. And a lot of people are like, the thigh is a good spot. It's like fatty and meaty. And
no, the thigh's right on bone.
It is, but it's got like muscle and stuff around it.
Muscle, but not fat. The back of your thigh has a lot of fat.
Either way, it hurt.
All I'm saying is, I'll just go ahead and say this. My first tattoo was my wrist. A lot of people get wrist tattoos because it's not very painful. But
is that why they get them, or do you think they just like them?
When I look at pictures of tattoo pain intensity, it's like lighter colored around the wrist.
Have you looked at pictures of that stuff?
Yeah, it's on Pinterest.
Fair enough. I don't know. I didn't know it existed.
Thigh is pretty painful. Groin is like extremely painful. Feet are extremely painful.
Oh, yeah,
hands are extremely painful. Ribs, they say, are like pretty painful.
I've heard ribs and chest are like some of the worst. I don't have those, but I want a big chest piece one day, and like I'm scared a little bit, to be honest. But like people told me my ditch, like when I was getting my elbow ditch tattooed, people like the owner of the shop was like, "Oh, getting the ditch done, that'll be fun."
Yeah.
Like that's what he said to me as I was sitting down to get this tattoo. And the guy that did it, I was asking him if he had done anything fun. And he was like, "Oh yeah, the other night, you know, we got like an 8-ball and like partied." And I was like, "Oh, tight. You're just needle deep in my arm right now, so like you can keep that to yourself." He got an 8-ball tattoo while he was there. That's how it came up. I said, "Oh, you get any work done like while you've been here? Because it's like over the weekend or whatever." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got this little fiery 8-ball or whatever because we got an 8-ball the other night." And I was like, "Oh man, I've made some better choices in my life than like going to this guy."
Well, I will say the guy who did my thigh tattoo talked about how he likes to party and do drugs, but like not while he works. Yeah. And like honestly, it's like I'm going to go ahead and say like if you're an artist that does drugs,
a lot.
I'm like over here. I'm like, I don't know what's better if you're sober or if you're high while you're doing it.
Well, if you're doing drugs all the time, it's probably better if you're high because you probably function like that normally. As
like a, you know, really innocent chica.
You've done drugs though. I mean, you know what it's like.
Like I've smoked weed.
That's a drug. You drank?
I did ecstasy one time when I was in high school.
That's a drug?
I mean, but like...
Sounds like...
Not high school. I was a freshman in college. I'm sorry.
I was 12 years old.
No. I was like 20.
Poppin' Molly.
19 or 20. No, I was 19. But like, yeah. That was probably too much information to share. But still, like, some people are just out here just being like, yeah, I do crack constantly or I do heroin. And I'm like, that's your choice. I'm not going to try to tell you not to do it unless it's like really damaging to you. But like, I don't know.
Shit's not for me to judge.
No, not me either. I will say like for me thinking about it for myself, it makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. But for any, you know, it's just like you said, it's not my choice and it's not my place to pass judgment on to other people.
Well, and I'll say this. I got the tattoo or whatever, and it worked out. And I'll say...
It's a beautiful tattoo.
I'll say it didn't hurt, and I still like it to this day. I do wish the lines were a little thicker, but that's just because the lines are thicker.
Do a good job.
Yeah, the lines are just thicker on, like, my other tattoos. And I think parts of it have kind of, like, blown out or whatever, but it's... I think it's a really hard spot to tattoo the
People
inside
said it was
going to
be super painful, too, and
it's got like that thin skin. It bends all the time. Like it's hard to get a good result. Yeah. And I'm really happy with the way mine came out. Yeah. So, you know, rip 8-balls if you want.
Jeez Louise. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, but keep it to yourself and like don't tell the people that you're working for or whatever you're working with.
Do whatever you want to. I was just telling you, keep it to yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would be better off not hearing about it because like as like someone, especially if you're like yatting on me.
Yeah,
and then you're like, yeah, I did drugs last night. It got so messed up. Yeah. Me, I'm just sitting there going.
It takes some trust, I think, to let someone tattoo you.
Yeah.
Trust or either like you just do not care.
I mean, like it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B for me. Yeah, I'm just kind of like I give the blind trust, and so I'm like, yeah, it's cool, it's great. And then if you say something to me, then I'm just kind of like, oh, better act like I'm cool about this, and not just this like narky white kid. I don't know, like.
Well, and I think the trust thing is kind of big when you're getting a tattoo because like it's their job. They are the tattoo artist, not you, the person receiving it.
Forever.
Yeah, like
forever.
It's their job. Let them do their job.
Yeah.
If they're like, oh, this would look better here, or like, this won't fit like this, let me change it or whatever. Like, let them do their thing because they know what's up. Because this is like what they do day in and day out. I only get a tattoo like once a year, once every couple of years or something like that. Yeah. Probably at least once a year. I don't know. But point being, like,
last year.
I am not a tattoo
last
artist.
Year, actually.
Yeah, last year I got some.
So
trust your artist.
Speaking of that, we're going to talk a little bit about like our future tattoo plans.
Yeah,
mostly because we have a honeymoon coming up, and we're in the process of looking for a tattoo artist where we're going on a honeymoon to give us a lobster claw because
we're doing the tattoo thing, dude, because we fucking ride or die, dude.
Love you.
People say it's bad luck, you know.
Well,
people get like each other's names and shit, which is
but gross. I know plenty of people who have each other's names and it's like they're still together. And so I don't believe in luck. I believe in purpose, and I believe in good and bad decisions.
I mean, my parents and my brother and his wife both have their names. My dad has like a ring finger tattoo, and my brother does too, because they can't wear rings at work. So, and they both say names. And they're both together, so.
You want to get my name on your ring finger?
Absolutely not. I also know a guy that had a ring tattoo that changed it into a skull with like a headband because it didn't work out.
And he's worried it won't work out with me.
No, I'm not worried.
If you weren't worried, you'd get my name.
No, we're getting a tattoo and we already picked it out. It's the lobster claw.
But you can still have the lobster claw and not have me around.
I literally don't have any writing on me. I'm not going to have any words on me. I don't like it. It's not my vibe, you know, tattoo-wise.
I don't care. It's fine.
I'm going to get ash on my throat now just to fucking prove a point, dude. Ash, dude.
Oh my gosh.
What's that for? Fucking nothing. Don't worry about it.
The love of my life. Okay, but anyway, so lobster claw.
Anyway, future tattoo plans. We're getting lobster claws. Little tiny line drawings, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Whatever. I'd get mine red. I guess, Hazel, are you crying? Are you upset?
She says, I have to potty, dude. Do you guys got to potty?
Okay, well, let's just go ahead and wrap this up so Hazel can go potty.
Yeah, so future tattoo plans, lobster claw. You'd get yours in red.
Maybe.
I want a line one. I want like a simple line one. I like that aesthetic. My leg tattoos look like that. My arm tattoos, not so much, but leg tattoos do.
My heart tattoo has a red coloring, but that's it. But anyway, so lobster claws, that's going to happen on our honeymoon. And then I might this summer get a Luna Artemis tattoo with one of my best friends. Yeah. Because the thing that we bonded over when we were children, which is when we became friends, was Sailor Moon. So.
Oh, Hazel.
Hazel is really upset. Okay, so anyway.
I'll be right here. Anyway,
you have one spot on your arm you want to fill up before you get like filler work done.
I got so many future tattoo plans. I won't go into like so much detail with all. I want like a bunch. The big ones that I suck at getting are the friend tattoos. Like you're talking about your Artemis. I gotta get the 169 thing, which is what I want to get up here, and it's gonna be sick.
Which is like a medical, like a hammer.
It's a reflex hammer. So like the little triangle hammer they hit you in the knee with. It's that, and it's like wrapped up in it's a really long story that we don't have to get into. But that's what I want on my arm.
I've been wanting to get a pinup tattoo since I was like a kid, and by a kid I mean like a teenager, like 17.
I don't dig on that, but you know, live your life.
It's just like a small one.
Yeah. I also am supposed to get a frat tat of like Mikey and Jen. Mikey.
Oh yeah.
So there's this frat, and the tat is just like the rock fingers, like you were talking about, actually.
Oh yeah, with nails.
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, theirs don't have nails, but it's just like a simple line drawing of like the devil horns, like hand rock. So I want to get that, and then I want to get like a whole chest piece, and I want to get like my right leg done, like super cool, and maybe even my right arm a little bit. We'll see what happens. Those are the two that are big on the agenda, or the three, I guess, that are big. Like, got to figure this out and like get this on lock.
So, final thoughts for tattoos. If you're gonna get a tattoo,
tips, tricks, advice.
Just do it. Honestly, if you think like I want this, just do it. The idea of regretting a tattoo is just...
Is that insane to you? Because it's insane to me.
It's insane to me.
I love them all.
You know, if you have a tattoo and you regret it, I want to know about it. And if it's not someone's name, or if it's
not like an ex or something,
or like someone that you now hate, then like I want to, I want to know about it, because I can understand if you get a tattoo with like someone you used to love or a friend that you used to really care about, and the tattoo that you got wasn't really that committal for you. like it wasn't important for you without the friend, like that'd be one thing, and I could understand that. But like otherwise, I'm just like, I don't know. It's a part of your journey. It's part of your trip.
Yeah.
It's a part of your memory. It's a part of you. And that's just kind of how it is. It's a walking, talking piece of art.
That's how I feel. I feel like it's comparable to buying a painting or something. But you get to walk around, and sometimes you get to see it. Sometimes you don't get to see it so much. You might forget you have it, but you do have it, and other people can see it.
And it's a story. It's a memory.
And it's a story. It's like a thing that happened that you remember. And honestly, some tattoo work is like some of the best artwork I've ever seen, and it's such a difficult medium. Yeah,
for sure.
It's not like drawing or painting or nothing. It's
someone's moving, breathing, sweating flesh.
And it's awesome. And so I totally agree. I'd say get it. I would also say take good care of your tattoos.
Don't be like us and just let it do whatever it wants to.
Progressively, the more tattoos I get, the like worse care I take of them. But definitely, like when you're healing up, I just
smother them in A&D ointment, and then people are like, just like let it dry out a little bit. I'm just like, nah.
Well, and I'll whatever your tattoo artist, whatever their thing is,
listen
that works.
To them, you know. Don't be like me and be like, I'm gonna put A&D ointment on it constantly, no matter what you say.
Well, they all say different things too.
I know.
People have their own opinions.
Listen to your tattoo artist. They know what's going on, especially if they have like their bodies covered, which most of them do.
They're
because
also
that's the name of the game. But.
I think they're also telling you what has worked for their clients in the past. Because like they want a good healed photo as well as like, like it's one thing to take a good tattoo picture right after you tattoo it, but to take one like 5 years later, like not a lot of tattoos look good 5 years later.
That's the truth. I think that a lot of people, especially if like your artist is like, I'm an artist and this is what I do, like they're going to tell you the best method for you to preserve their art.
Like whatever's been working for them. Like
because you are their canvas.
Canvas.
Yikes.
It
you
happens.
know what I mean?
Trust your artist. Take care of your shit. Also, go get a tattoo if you want one, dude. Like, just even if it's something small. They're awesome.
And A&D ointment is super cheap, and it is, it's good anyway just to have.
Yeah,
for tattoos,
for cuts and scrapes,
and also
I put it on
just
like all
anything.
my cuts and stuff.
It does not smell great, but it is
disgusting.
Don't do Vaseline, do A&D ointment. Yeah.
Well, and again, just listen to your artist. I think.
I don't think any artist is gonna say Vaseline, but.
Yeah, but I also don't think many are gonna say A&D ointment. Probably, I've never heard it from an artist. You have,
I've only ever heard A&D ointment from artists.
Yeah.
A&D ointment or
that's what I'm talking about, though. They all say they all got their own thing, so whatever works for them,
I've
do
heard
their
people
thing.
say, like, let it dry out and scab, and I'm over here like...
Yeah. I've heard any lotion as long as it's not scented. I've heard specifically Lubriderm. I've heard A&D from you. Yeah. Whatever they say, do what they say. Take care of your shit.
Reddit says A&D ointment. No Vaseline.
Yeah, they don't know everything.
Yeah, but it is an echo chamber for the people who have the same exact... Let's end this episode.
Yes.
Much love to everyone who listened this far.
Hopefully this has been like, if you don't have tattoos, or even if you do have like one or two, hopefully this has been like somewhat insightful.
Or maybe you just enjoyed hanging out with us because it is date night for us, and we both sat here and enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
So
we both obviously, I think, love tattoos and like want to get more and stuff. So like,
and his body is way more filled up with tattoos than mine, but I think that we both, me too.
Yeah.
I'm way more impulsive about it than you, and therefore I'm like, I only really get tattoos if it's like easily gotten.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get a flash tat or whatever, but
that's my kind of
not my
thing.
norm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all my tattoos are flash tattoos, basically.
Yeah. So much love to everyone for listening, for hanging out. Hopefully this was entertaining, or you learned something, or you had a good time, whatever.
Let's just say thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
You can find us on Instagram, even though I haven't posted on there yet. Just don't correct me. Oh. I'm gonna tell it.
Well, I don't know about it.
The Reinhardt's blog Instagram, and then my Instagram is ash.catch.om.
Can you pronounce that for us?
Ash catch
Yeah.
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 Anyway, it doesn't matter. it matters to me, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. So feel free to give us a follow, and then I will update with new podcast episodes. And they are coming out basically every Wednesday/Thursday at this point, depending.
Yeah, I'll touch on that. I got some stuff to plug, I guess.
Oh, well then plug away.
We are, if you're watching this video, we're on Stitcher. We are on Amazon Music. We're on Apple Podcasts.
Spotify.
And we're on Spotify. And those are all the just listening platforms we're on. We're on YouTube if you're just listening to this and you're like, this is lame. I want to see what they look like or something. I want to see what their annoying dog looks like. You probably can't see her.
Hazel, come here. Jump up.
She's like, no, let me outside. But anyway, so those. Hey, babe, can you want to fix that?
Well.
God damn it, River. Well, you're gonna have to go on the other side. You won't be able to tell from here.
Will I?
Yes, you will have to look at it. I promise.
Baby, let me do my thing.
Fair enough.
Can you just keep on talking?
Yeah. So anyway, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. If you want to listen, we're on YouTube. If you want to watch, it's Conversations with the Reinhardts. There's only 2 episodes on YouTube. We're thinking about adding a bonus first episode because we tried this a little while ago.
And it's on Spotify, so / the rest
yeah,
of them, right?
it's on the listening. It's on the listening sites.
So if you listen to us,
yeah,
you'll see our reasoning for why we're both vegan.
Yeah, so we've got 2 episodes, and one is yoga and spirituality, and one is our journey with veganism, which I think is probably, I don't know, it seems like people enjoy that one, at least if they're interested in like veganism.
Yeah, and if you're interested in spirituality and yoga, you can hear me tear up a little bit. So
those are like the listening, watching sites. Also, she touched on we're releasing an episode weekly right now, and right now, like she said, it's kind of like Wednesday, Thursday. I would like to get it to where I can do it every Monday on time. It's a learning process, so I'm not quite there.
So we'll just put it to you like this: we're recording every Friday.
Yeah, and we're trying to get it
unless there's something really wild happening that we can't do it for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it is. So, you'll grow with us.
Yeah.
You will grow with us.
We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get better every time. Putting out our best work every time, so. Trying.
This past week, we recorded 3 episodes.
Yeah, we did. No.
Just to make sure that one was
good. Was like up to snuff or whatever. Yeah.
That we enjoyed. Yeah. Or as much as we could. Like I said, this past week for me, at least, has been really hard. And this is Friday, and we recorded that episode on Wednesday night.
I don't know.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Late on accident.
Oh, my gosh.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, we were just kind of rambling.
Point being, I'm trying to get like a regular schedule going, and it will become regular. Have some patience. Have some grace, I guess, for us, please.
For now, it's Wednesday, Thursday.
Also,
sometime in between there.
Also, let us know what you like or what you don't like.
And if you have any questions, comments, concerns,
or leave a comment.
Ideas for future episodes, because we'd love to hear that.
Yeah. You can leave a comment on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever.
You can also DM me. Yeah.
Let us know if you want. And we will read and we'll listen and we'll try and take it into account. So
we will take it into account because there's, at this point, no one is really messaging us about this podcast other than just listening.
Unless you say something insane like, I want to turn your skin into a lampshade, and like we probably won't listen to that.
Probably read it though.
Yeah. It will affect us.
I will go into a dark place.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Okay, yeah.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.